Welcome back to Summer in the Sayings of Jesus. I'm Matt Ayers, president of Wesley Biblical Seminary, and we're going to be in John once again. Last chapter of John, 21. Read the whole context here. 21, verse 15. This is after the resurrection. So when they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, the saying of Jesus, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" We're going to come back to that, but let's continue on to get the whole context. He said to him, that is, Peter responded, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And then he said, "Tend my lambs." And for those of you who are familiar with this text and the context, Jesus goes on and asks him 2 more times, "Do you love me?" And each time he asks him, he gives Peter a chance to answer, "Yes, you know I love you." And then he says, "Feed my sheep," or lambs, depending on which iteration. What's the significance of this? Well, there's several things happening here, but here's what I want to point out. We all have a calling in following Jesus. He's given us all sorts of commands, obligations as Christians. We can think of course, the Great Commission. Go and be my witnesses, making disciples and teaching them and baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. That's the great last command of Jesus. Love one another, all sorts. The list is very long of the commands that Jesus gives his disciples, those of us who are following him. The interesting thing that I want to consider is the motivation for obeying those commands. When Jesus calls Peter to take care of his sheep, he doesn't say to Peter, "Peter, do you love my sheep?" And Peter, "Yes." "Then take care of them." "Do you love my lambs?" "Yes." "Then take." That's not what Jesus says. Jesus says, "Do you love me?" And Peter says, "Yes." Says, "Therefore, take care of my sheep." Our calling as Christians to take care of Jesus' sheep. And in this context, he's talking about Christians, the church. So this is especially applicable for those in full-time ministry as pastors, those who are called to take care of the flocks, to pastor the flocks. The reason we do it is not first and foremost because we love our fellow Christians. That is a reason, but it's not the top order priority reason. The reason we take care of one another, we take care of the church and Christians, is because we love Jesus first. It's out of our love for Jesus that compels us and inspires us to take care of his lambs. Something very similar, Jesus says, "I was in prison, you didn't visit me." They say, "Well, you were never in prison. What are you talking about?" He says, "When they were in prison, you didn't visit them. They are the same as me." In other words, out of your love for me, visit them. When I was naked, you didn't clothe me. "Lord, you were never naked." "Yes, but out of your love for me, I want you to clothe them." We all have people in our lives that are hard to love. We all have people that are hard to care for. We all have people that are hard to forgive. Where do we find the motivation and the inspiration to obey Jesus' command, to be courteous to all people? We find it in our love for Jesus. How do we love people that are hard to love? Out of our love for Jesus. We see Jesus in them. We're reminded that Jesus died for them. And out of that love, we are inspired and motivated to love them as we love Jesus. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. So out of our love for Jesus, we're called to obey his command. John says in his letters later on in the New Testament, "Those who disobey me don't love me. Don't say that you love me if you disobey me, because only those who love me obey me, and those who disobey me don't love me." And this isn't obedience to a king or a tyrant or a ruler that we're afraid of. We're not obeying because we're afraid of consequences or punishment. We're obeying because we love him. We're inspired and motivated by love. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. I hope you find that helpful, as today you are called to love someone that's hard to love. Focus on your love for Jesus and do it out of that love, and he will help you through his Holy Spirit. Thank you, and until next time, Summer in the Sayings of Jesus.